In my time playing donutsmp, I've built tons of stashes, and I've even made a tutorial on how to build a stash block for block. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I build my stashes so that you can build your own unique design. And stick to the end of the video because I'm going to give you some tips on how to make your stash not get raided. Okay, so starting off with how to make a floor for your stash. You guys probably all know my favorite is a checkered pattern, which is very easy to make by just taking two blocks that go well together. But I'm going to show you some other types of floors just in case you don't like this. Starting off with this better version of a checkered pattern, which you can do with lava or water. And all you have to do is make 2 blocks tall and then lava down in the bottom and glass on top. And I'm currently using black stained glass because it looks good with the lava. You can also do this floor design where you like make a room under the floor. So for this I just made like a soul stand room. But you could also do something like this with armor stands. That looks pretty cool. And I recommend making your floor 16 blocks long so that you have room for everything you need. And 2 extra spots in case you want to add like a shield or an axe. And how wide your stash is up to you. If you want a small stash you can just do 3 chests, 3 in the middle and 3 more chests. But you could also do like 5 in the middle and 5 chests on a big stash. And also make sure you have hoppers going into the back of your chests so that if you take something out of the bottom chest, it'll automatically get refilled from the other chests. Okay, now that you've hopefully got a nice floor to your stash, I'm going to move on to the walls. You're going to want to dig out 2 of the wall and then dig out all of this. And if you made your floor 16 blocks long, then on my stash I like to have pillars with like blocks behind as the walls. And depending on how many pillars you want, you could do like 2 blocks in between, 3 blocks, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 2 blocks. Or if you want less pillars, you could do like 5 blocks, 4 blocks, 5 blocks. As long as it's even, you can do whatever you want. And for the pillars, don't just use random blocks like deep slate. Instead, you could use any of the woods or any of these other blocks that have like an upwards pattern. And the good thing about using one of the woods is that you can have the behind part as the plank version. And then you could also have the strip version as one of the blocks in the checker pattern if you use that. So then after you've made your pillars and your walls behind, you can add stairs or slabs at the bottom, or both just like this, to make it look a little bit more rounded and better. Then if you don't want these walls to be so basic, you can add 3 stairs like this and a slab on either side. Then armor stands here and chains going up to where we're going to build the roof. You can add some armor, and for the armor, if none of these colors work, I would just recommend dyeing leather armor. And you can even add an armor trim to match your stash even more, just like this, even though it's kind of purple instead of pink. And an alternative to armor is like a window, so I'm going to show you how to build one of those. So first find a good height on your wall that you want to make it. I'll just put mine here, then put a slab like to where it's half of the block. Then put slabs on either side like this, then go up 2.5 blocks to this block, and then place slabs like that. Then break these 4 blocks, add the color of stained glass that matches your stash, and then you can just add like black concrete behind. Then to finish it off, you can add trapdoors like this that match this color, and then there you go, you have a little window. You can make it as tall as you want, like I could make it even taller, just like that. And if you made your pillars smaller like this, then you can just add slabs for the armor stands and squish the window in right here. And it still looks pretty good squished in like that. Now moving on to the roof, if your window goes up to the very top block, you're going to want to extend this just 1. Then place a temporary block on top of your pillar, then do a stair like this and a slab. Then you can break the temporary block and it'll look like this from the bottom. Then place a temporary block and another stair and slab. Then if you do the same thing on this side, then it should come together just like this. Then you can either go up 1 more and make a slab, or if there's a light source that matches your stash, you could also do that. Then do the same process on top of all the pillars. Then it should look like this. Then for the part that goes in between the pillars, you're gonna want to make it 1 higher in each spot, so 1 higher here, then up that, 1 higher there, up again, just like that. Then you can extend it all just like this. Then do this on both sides. Also, if you do add light, it might look a little weird because it doesn't like evenly match up, so low-key I'm going to destroy that. So then I'm going to continue that up and make this go up 1 more. And there we go, this is what it should look like. So now's the time where you're going to want to add your chests and hoppers. And I recommend using Swift Sneak leggings, because as you can see, without them it's pretty slow to place them all. And with them on, you can place much faster. Okay, there's all the chests added. But if you want to, you can add armor stands on top of the chests with leather dyed armor and a cool armor trim. But if you do, I'd recommend having a taller stash so that you can have these higher up on the wall, so that it's not covering it up. Okay, there we go. Now your stash is almost complete. And if your pillars are an odd number of blocks in between, that means there's a middle block. So if you want, you could add like a chandelier made out of like anything you want. You could do like an amethyst one, or one with spruce fences if that matches your stash better. Now for the side walls. First, what you're going to want to do is extend your floor out 1, so that once you build here behind this pillar, it'll all link up. Then you can either use the same block as you use here, or if your block has a bunch of different variations, you can use like deep slate tiles or polished deep slate. But for this stash, I'm just going to use the same block. So start off by just building this whole wall here, just like this. Then what you're going to want to do is take the block they use for the pillar, which is kind of crowded on mine because I have a chest right here, but then build the pillars like this, in line with the chest and build them up a little bit. Then grab the stair and slab version of the block and just make a little like gateway type thing. So for this will work, and then dig out these blocks. And then in this side room, you can either make an XP dispenser or an auto regear. Then after that pillar, you're going to want to build 3 and then a 5x5 square just like this. Then build pillars on each corner just like this, up to like 4. Then add the walls 1 block behind the pillar. Then 1 block out, add all your dispensers in a 3x3 just like this. Then you can do whatever you want here, but I'm probably just add some purple. And there we go. And finally, just going to add amethyst like this. Now I'm going to show you how to make this actually work. This is what you're going to need. So place your lever wherever you want it here. I'm just going to place mine here. Then go behind and place a piston. Then an observer like this. And then 1 block apart like this. Then just connect this redstone up to your dispensers. Now if you turn it on, it should work. Then you can fill it with XP and turn it on. Holy, that's loud. And for this side, you can do the same thing and extend the floor, and then add the wall. Then you can make the same little gateway thing, then do 1 out again. Then I think a 7x7 grid is big enough for an auto regear, so you can make pillars in the corners. And since an auto regear is super complicated, I'm going to leave a link to a tutorial in the description, because it would take too long to build and show you here. But I will show you how to make a roof to this room. So build 4 pillars up high enough to where the auto regear fits. Then you can make your wall behind. Then you can just do the same thing you did for the other roof like this, with a stair and a slab. But then instead of doing another stair and slab, just do 1 slab and then 1 more slab at the top, and then do this over here, and then do the same thing above with the purple. And then once you get to this part, put another slab and then a slab here instead of a full block. Just like that. Then you can just build this all the way across, and there you go. Now you can build your auto regear. And another thing you could do here instead of this wall is glass with lava behind, if that fits the theme of your stash. You just have to make sure if you do this, that you have to add like blocks behind so that there's no gaps. You could also do the same thing with like water and then add axolotls. And now that you hopefully know how to build your own custom stash, I'm going to show you some tips on how to make it not get raided for as long as possible. So first, RTP to your region. Mine's NA East until you find this biome, and make sure that there's no kelp around, or else it'll grow and people will know that someone's been in the area. Also, if you have an elytra, I recommend flying around looking for this biome, as it's hard to RTP here because there's so much water. Then dig down using silk touch to cover your tracks, just like this. Make sure it's block for block. And make sure when covering with deep slate that you place it the right way on the bottom block instead of like this where it's like sideways. And dig down until Y -54. Then buy a potion of invisibility and pop the invis, dig up 3 blocks, and then throw a pearl into the corner and go in F5. And then you can see around if there's any big caves. And these small caves are okay, but if there's any giant caves, I recommend looking for a new spot. And if you can't find a frozen ocean biome, you can make it in other biomes, as long as you can tell no one's like been there a lot, or there's stuff above that grows. For example, kelp in an ocean, or cactus in a desert. And definitely don't make it under a jungle, because there's tons of vines and bamboo that can all grow. And make sure the only block entity that you have in your stash is the chest, because chests spawn naturally in dungeons and other structures in the world. But if you have stuff like enchanting table, skull, bell, sign on your pie chart, that stuff doesn't spawn naturally, so people will know that there's a base. And if you're going to use an ender chest, I'd recommend placing it and breaking it every time you need to use it, just to make sure no one can find your base. And if you make YouTube videos or clip stuff using metal, make sure you never show your coordinates, and make sure if you teleport any streamers or you're making YouTube videos that you don't show any ores around your base, or bedrock of course. And finally, be careful who you teleport to your stash. If you don't know your teammates in real life, it's hard to find people that you can actually trust with your valuable items. But anyway, if this video helped you, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
But everybody please subscribe to him. Please subscribe to Mustard. His video is crazy.